Go.
Okay, now I'm going to do question 3 and 4 because they're related to each other. So, given a pair of trifocals, determine the back vertex power and add power. So we're going to start out by putting in the glasses as normal, correct temples away from you, figure out the power of the distance, write it down. Go ahead and flip it. Make sure you're not off on the distance, then put it into the reading to determine the add. And the difference between the distance and the add, the distance and the reading is the add. Don't forget that when you go into the distance portion, let's say you pick the 3 narrow lines, clear that up, know where you are. When you go into the reading, clear the narrow lines again. Don't clear the opposite that you started with because you just failed yourself doing it. So once you figured out the difference, that is your add power. Going on to number 4, it says using the RX from station 3, determine the percentage of the intermediate portion of the lens and specify the size of the trifocal. Kyle, can you grab me a flat top trifocal, not this one? Thank you. So what you're going to do is now you're going to figure out what the intermediate is. So let's say start out at the distance. Again, pick the 3 narrow lines. What is it? Go to the intermediate. Pick the same 3 narrow lines. Figure out what the difference is. Thank you. Once you have that figured out, now what is the percentage difference from the distance to the intermediate to the reading? So let's say your full reading prescription was a plus 250. If your intermediate prescription is not plus 1 1/4, or if it is 1 1/4, you know it's a 50% intermediate. If it's something different than that, you need to calculate out what is the percentage different. If you get something like 41% or 80-something%, round it off. It gives you the option of 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%. There's never going to be prescribed 42% intermediate. So then to determine the size of the trifocal, so if it's this, you want to take a look? Can you see the
marks still on you?
Okay, so if you see it like this, this is an executive trifocal. There is nothing else to write with that. It will most likely be something of this nature, where there's actually, it doesn't go all the way across. So, the way a trifocal is read, do you need a background? Is you need to, the first number is going to be the depth of the intermediate. So from the top here to the top here. Do you need something behind you?
Yeah,
this yellow would be actually pretty good. Perfect. So from here, how about we draw on it?
Yeah, it would be perfect.
I'm going to draw on it.
There we go.
So, when I'm measuring for the trifocal, there's 2 numbers. The first one will be from here to here. The second one will be the width. Now, what you need to know, first of all, is what's the standard widths that are available. So if you get something that's not one of the standards, that is not the right measurement. So first we're going to measure the depth. So for this it should be 7 millimeters. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's not clear, but
that's okay. But from the top to the next line, that's going to be your first number. Then you put an X, and then you measure out the width. And the width can be 28 millimeters, 35 millimeters, or 45 millimeters. Those are your 3 options. If it's not one of those numbers, measure it again, either higher or lower. But it needs to be one of those 3 numbers. And it will be written, I'm just going to show it to you here. Can you zero into that? Let's make it bigger. It'll be written 7 by 35.
Okay.
Or 8 by 35, or 7 by 28. Those are some of the options. But that is how you write that. And and that's for station 3 and 4.
Okay. And they need a calculator for the first part?
You shouldn't use a calculator because this gives you the difference. So you don't really need to read, okay, this is a +2, this is a minus whatever. Just look at it, okay, I know this, and what's the difference between that and that? Because calculator is an extra step.
Okay.
Just use this as a number line.
Okay.